Welcome back to our show, your show, Let's Talk Stocks. Back in studio with us this morning is Mr. Dane Spencer. He's co-founder and CEO of Smart Mobile Solutions. Of course, you've been hearing him telling us about this fabulous company and all that they've been doing to provide technological solutions for businesses and consumers right here in Jamaica. Welcome back, Dane. It's amazing, Dane, how technology has evolved, how quickly things have evolved, and how we've been able to adapt. And one get the feeling, especially post COVID, that things are going to take off even more. The new normal is now old, and we're now evolving to another new thing. How important is it that our people begin to hug up this, accept this fact that the technology is here and we're going to have to go with it? How important is it that we accept that and begin to be developers and workers in this field?
So technology is, as I said, facilitator. So we let's look at even agriculture. Being able to compete on the level of the international scale without technology is almost impossible, because you'll never be as efficient. When you apply that principle across every walk of life or every division within the region, using technology in tourism, using technology in in manufacturing, in finance, all of these things are very important to kind of give us another notch up. So the more that we leverage the technology, of course there are going to be threats that arise because you use the technology, but the technology is a facilitator to allow for you to touch more people. And now when we're looking at a landscape like ours, we need to have that connectivity without having to necessarily commute. So leveraging technology has to be at the forefront of our minds when we're thinking about how we want to develop as a nation and how we continuously want to improve as businesses in general. When you stick to the old ways of doing things, you'll naturally get left behind. And COVID was one of those things that kind of gave you that little shock to say, well, maybe we need to change how we do things a bit. Remote work was something that would have been frowned upon, but today, now we're looking at it where brick and mortar spaces are so expensive. It's kind of now where somebody's saying, well, how can I do this more virtually than I can do it with physical? Now, the hybrid is automatically the best solution at this point, because people still like to touch and feel. Yeah. But now when you have that virtual backend that can allow for people to see more than what is on a storefront and on a retail level, and can now have options and say, well, I'll come back when it's here, or can you have it delivered to my house? This is now how we're kind of leveraging both a brick and mortar plus the internet and the digital tools to be allowed for people to consume. So I think it's a great opportunity, and I think we've jolted in the right direction and we've pivoted as a country and as a nation towards that. And I think if we continue, as I said, it's very important that we don't regress, because we don't have the same threats, but the threats will come back. We should be positioned to be able to.
Here's the elephant in the room. Our educational system, education and training. Are we moving enough people into that field of technology? The different developers, analysts, whatever is required. Are we moving people into that field fast enough? Because one of the concerns has always been, as technology evolves, it's going to take my job. But we need somebody to create the technology, as you put on the table.
100%.
Are we moving enough people in that field quickly enough?
Well, I guess that would be relative. What I would say is that we're definitely seeing trends that are where people are now becoming more cognizant that these opportunities exist. Because before I went into the development field, when you were in school, you were probably just thinking about coding, and that's automatically where you said that is what is either you're going to code or you're going to be actually fixing the hardware. Are you doing the networking? In today's technology environment, you have so many more sub-disciplines within the technology sphere that, of course, you may not be aware of until you start to go out into the industry and start to dig deeper, and you start to recognize that there's so much more. You have UI UX engineers, you have UAT engineers, you have people now developing products. There's a product owners, you have scrum masters, you have the wide aware array of different categories of people that are in. Now you have prompt engineers because AI now generates code and they need to validate the code. So it's going to continue to evolve. So while we think that technology is going to take away jobs, it's going to create jobs. And of course, you're talking about people now even thinking more, well, I need to have this because this makes everything much easier. So it's more of an exciting prospect to think about what we're going to be able to do with technology. And of course, the more you embrace it and figure out how to use it and leverage it to your advantage, is the more that you'll be a front runner and kind of find out how you make your businesses and your life even more efficient by leveraging the technology.
As we talk about leveraging the technology, looking at your own company, you've done tremendously well over the last 15, 16 years. What's the next growth frontier? What are some of the things that you're looking at as to move the company forward and to carry us all along with you?
Well, a major part is just more regional. So we definitely have presence in Jamaica, and we want to strengthen our presence across the region. Continue to build out within the Jamaican framework, where we have launched our devices as a service, which really and truly is what brings all the technology divisions together. The hardware, the software, and the implementation and technical services. So we basically put everything together and allow people to consume it in flexible payment plans and to allow for recycling of the technology through trade-ins. And it keeps on reducing your cost of ownership. So then therefore you kind of have all of these things and you keep on adding tools to it. So you can add connectivity, can add all of these recurring bills now into one. So you have one-stop shop for technology coming through Smart Mobile Solutions. Now, we pride ourselves on being that gateway to technology. So if we're going to continue on that forefront, what we have to do is to keep evolving and improving the solutions that we offer. Device as a service is one of those steps. And we think that what we can do in that realm, as well as we keep on partnering with more software companies to offer more software as a service, as well as build our own. So we should have a much more comprehensive suite to offer to the market as we continue to grow. What we have today is good and robust, and we want to continue to build on that and just make technology easier to consume generally, for the general consumer as well as businesses at large. Because without the technology, the business is not going to grow. And we want to be one of those companies that help the rest of the companies to grow.
And finally, Dane, where you see the big push for your target? Is it the consumer side or is it the business side?
Well, we would never pretend that we're not for the businesses. We're B2B. That's really and truly what we've been very strong with. What we think that we do is to provide people with the tools to be able to do their business. So that's our focus.
Absolutely great to have had you. Dane Spencer is co-founder and CEO of SMS Mobile Solutions. Of course, they've evolved into so much more. You're now hearing about B2B and providing the best solutions for businesses to grow and evolve. As we always say here on Let's Talk Stocks, we give you information to make better financial decisions. Come back with us. Tomorrow morning at 9, we'll have another exciting program lined up for you.